You weren't born into power. You were born into a cold room with a dirt floor, a drunk father who smelled like tobacco and failure, and a mother who stopped looking you in the eyes by the time you were 7. The village had no running water. The government had a different name every few years. It didn't matter. Nobody cared about you. And that specific feeling of being invisible, being nothing, being stepped on, that is the exact fuel that will one day make you the most dangerous man alive. Because dictators aren't born in palaces. They're forged in humiliation. You are 12 years old and you already understand one thing that most adults never figure out. The world does not reward the good. It rewards the ruthless. You watch the local party boss drive past in a black car while your father breaks his back in the fields. You ask why. Your father looks away. That silence teaches you more than any school ever will. You start reading, not fairy tales, political pamphlets, revolutionary manifestos, history books soaked in blood. You underline the passages about men who started from nothing and ended up with everything. You memorize their names like prayers. At 18, you join the movement. Doesn't matter which one. They all look the same from the bottom. Flags, slogans, angry young men with nothing to lose. You are smarter than 90% of them and you know it. You don't fight in the front rows. You watch. You calculate. You learn who has power, who wants power, and most importantly, who owes someone a favor. Political debt is the only currency that never inflates. You make yourself useful to the man at the top. You carry his messages. You remember the names of his enemies. You smile at everyone and trust no one. You are 26. There's been a coup, a counter-coup, a civil war that killed 40,000 people whose names nobody will ever know. You survived all of it. Not by being the strongest, by being indispensable. You are the man who keeps the files, the names, the dates, the secrets, the skeletons. In your locked drawer sits enough information to destroy every single person in the new government. This is your insurance policy. This is your real weapon. Not a gun, not an army. Paper, words, proof. Power is not about who can kill the most. Power is about who knows the most. The old leader makes a mistake. They always do. He trusts the wrong man. You. One meeting, one speech, one moment where the crowd looks at you and not at him, and you see it in his eyes. Fear. He just realized what you have been building for years. He tries to move against you. Too late. You've already spoken to the generals, 3 of them. The 4th one you don't trust, so you made sure his reputation was destroyed 6 months ago, quietly, surgically, with a forged document and a well-timed rumor. The coup takes 48 hours, almost no bloodshed. You are disappointed by how easy it was. You stand at the podium. First national address. The crowd is enormous. You have spent 3 weeks practicing this exact speech in front of a mirror. The pauses, the fist on the lectern, the moment you look directly into the camera and lower your voice. Dictators understand theater better than any Hollywood director. You don't threaten. You promise. Stability. Prosperity. Greatness. The word greatness gets used 11 times. You counted. The cameras love your jaw. Tomorrow, every newspaper in the country will print your face above the fold. For the first time in your life, you are not invisible. Now, the work begins. And the work is ugly. Your first problem is not foreign enemies. It's the men who helped you get here. They expect rewards, land, money, titles, positions. You give them just enough to keep them loyal and not enough to make them powerful. It's a knife edge you'll walk for the rest of your life. You appoint your cousin to run the secret police, not because he's competent, he is actually not very bright, but because incompetent people are easier to control, and loyal relatives are harder to bribe. The apparatus of terror is now in the hands of a man who owes you everything and understands nothing. Perfect. The secret police. Let's talk about what that actually means. It means a building downtown that everyone knows about and nobody mentions. It means a list, always a list, that grows longer every month. journalists who ask the wrong questions, professors who teach the wrong ideas, generals who are too popular with the troops, old friends who know too much about who you were before. You don't kill them all. That would be crude, and crude is for amateurs. Some are arrested. Some are simply relocated. Some receive a midnight phone call and wake up the next morning as cooperative men. Fear is cheaper than bullets and lasts longer. The economy is a disaster, obviously. It always is. You inherited a broken machine and now you have to make it look like it runs while you loot it. The trick is simple. Blame someone else. There's always an enemy. Internal saboteurs, foreign agents, the old regime's lingering poison. The people want an explanation for their suffering that doesn't involve your face, and you provide one. You nationalize 2 foreign companies with great fanfare. You build a dam. You put your photo on the dam. You rename 2 streets and a university. Your face appears on the currency. Not the biggest bill, the most common one. You want people to handle your face every single day. The cult of personality is not vanity. It is infrastructure. You commission a biography that begins with your childhood poverty. You leave that part true, it's relatable, and transforms every failure into a lesson, every setback into evidence of destiny. Statues appear. First, just in the capital, then in every provincial city, then in schools. Children are taught songs with your name in them. You are not just a president or a general or a chairman. You are the father of the nation. Father. That word was chosen carefully. Fathers are obeyed. Fathers are forgiven. Fathers cannot be replaced. Year 7. An assassination attempt. A bomb in the motorcade. The car behind yours. 14 dead, all bodyguards and aides. You are not scratched. You use the next 72 hours perfectly. You appear in public within 6 hours. Shaken but standing, which is the most important image of your entire career. You give a speech at the funerals. You cry. Whether the tears are real is a question for philosophers. Politically, they are real enough. The approval rating spiked to 84%. You quietly double the secret police budget. The men responsible, 3 of them, are found within a week. The trial lasts 1 day. The sentence is immediate. You do not attend the execution, but you read the transcript. The paranoia sets in around year 10. This is documented. Almost every dictator who survives a decade begins to see enemies where there are none, because by now the real enemies have all been eliminated and the brain doesn't know how to stop. Your inner circle shrinks. You rotate the generals every 18 months so none of them builds loyalty with the troops. You eat at irregular times, sleep in different rooms, travel in unmarked vehicles. Your food taster is a 42-year-old man named Petrov, who has tasted 3,000 meals for you over the years. You don't know his wife's name. You don't ask. There is no one to talk to. This is the part they never put in the history books, the absolute aloneness of it. Your wife, the second one, the first left in year 4, performs the role of First Lady with professional efficiency and cold eyes. Your children are kept away from you, protected by staff who are terrified of both your love and your anger. The advisors tell you what you want to hear because the last one who didn't is teaching geography somewhere in a province that doesn't appear on tourist maps. You sit in a room full of people and you are completely alone, and you have never been more powerful in your life. Year 15. You make the mistake that all of them make eventually. You believe your own story. The biography, the statues, the songs. You start thinking they describe something real. You begin making decisions based on ideology instead of calculation. You launch a military campaign in a neighboring territory because it's written in the national mythology that those lands belong to you. 3 years, 40,000 casualties, international sanctions, half the economy evaporated. The generals who told you it was a bad idea are gone. The ones who cheered are still here. Somewhere in that room is the man who will do to you what you did to your predecessor. You can feel it. You just can't see his face yet. The end doesn't come with a bang. It comes with a spreadsheet. The treasury is empty. The army hasn't been paid in 2 months. The chief of the secret police, your cousin's replacement, the third one, stops answering calls after midnight. Street protests in the capital, small at first, then not small. You give the order to disperse. The commander of the riot police pauses for 4 seconds before acknowledging the order. 4 seconds. In the old days, it would have been 0 seconds. You notice everything. You notice those 4 seconds and you understand exactly what they mean. You begin preparing the exit package, the offshore accounts, the foreign passport, the deal with the country that doesn't extradite. You are 61 years old. You leave at 3 in the morning on a government plane with your second wife, your youngest son, 4 suitcases, and $400 million. The crowds tear down your statue in the main square while you are still in the air. The new government announces a warrant for your arrest. You land in a country with warm weather, a private beach, and very flexible principles. You spend the next 20 years living in a White House behind gates with armed guards. Yours this time, not the state's. You give no interviews. You write no memoirs. You walk on the beach at sunrise and look at the ocean and think about the village with the dirt floor and the drunk father. Final tally of your life, presented as infographic. Nations ruled, 1. Years in power, 16. Estimated personal wealth, 400 million. Official statues erected, 212. People disappeared under your rule, classified. People who genuinely loved you, 0. People who will remember your name in 100 years, none. The dam is still standing, though. Your name is still on it, for now.